Welcome to my massive sketchbook tour. In this video you'll see 14 of my sketchbooks and I'm going to take you on a journey through them, through the good, the bad and the ugly, through pages I love and pages I hate, and I'm going to talk to you about my sketchbook journey. I hope that you enjoy it. So we're going to start with two sketchbooks that I haven't really done that much with, but I think what is in here is quite interesting, so we'll have a quick look. So this sketchbook is a hardback sketchbook. It's a Sea White of Brighton concertina sketchbook. I think it's called an octopus because it has 8 concertina pages that pull out like this. On this page I've only used 2 of these, but obviously you can work in a really long format, which is nice. So I was just playing around with a garden theme there and just trying out a few things. The next page I think was a preparation page for my Zoom sessions, or one of my Zoom sessions should I say, on Patreon. Let me just check that that is all, yeah, it's all in focus, isn't it, I think, pretty much anyway. So yeah, I played around with different media in this one actually. I think I've used watercolour, gouache, I can see a bit of Inktense pencil. Have I got anything else on there? Maybe coloured pencil, I don't know. I can't remember now because this was a while ago. But I wanted to do a practice, which I don't often do, I have to say, before one of my drawing sessions with my Patreon members. And I was drawing from stills from a wildlife camera. So yeah, we have a little blackbird, a pigeon and a female pheasant. And I actually made this female pheasant into a card and different things, which was quite nice. So that was my practice one. Now, look at the one I did when I was actually on the live Zoom. So it's similar. But in my opinion, it's nowhere near as good. I can see it just looks a bit awkward and a bit stiff. I don't like this bird at all. The pheasant isn't as successful. The blackbird's quite good. I quite like this pose. That's quite nice. But it doesn't have the same feel as the other one that I did under no pressure. And I think that's interesting because when I'm hosting a Zoom, I have to basically chat to everyone. I know that I'm on camera, like I have this view that you're seeing now, sort of the top down camera, overhead camera, that's what I'm trying to say. So I know that people can see me working, and I'm also trying to do all of the other technical stuff that you have to do when you're on a Zoom session. So it's a lot harder for me to really get into the flow of painting. So it's interesting how different they look. I mean, you might not think they look so different, I don't know, let me know, but to me I can really see that they look different. And I think, yeah, that's all I've done in that one so far. So I have quite a few pages in this sketchbook to use. That's what it looks like. It's got a nice hardcover. That's an interesting sketchbook if you want a bit more freedom with the format. So I think put that over there. And we'll move on to this one. So this is 1 sketch a day, and I intended to do 1 sketch a day for a year. I managed a few. Sorry, I just had to cut that bit out because I accidentally shared my phone number, which isn't good. Anyway, I have put little glassine pieces of paper in here because obviously I wanted to protect these. But I started in April, oh look, a year ago, April last year. And oh, that was when I was a member of Becca Hall's Patreon. She must have had like a mushroom drawing video or something. It says mushrooms from Becca Hall's Patreon. I think at the beginning I was going to use just Derwent drawing pencils in this. This was before they released the 72 set. So we only had 24 colours back in those days. And I think I did that for the first 4 and then switched, which you'll see. So yeah, I was just trying out different ideas. So that's the first 4 days. then I decided that I was going to do collage. So I think this was when I first got into collage. So it's about a year ago. Oh, that's interesting. So I've done a bit more collage since then actually, but this is where I really sort of experimented with it. And I think these are all cut up failed paintings. So these are like original paintings, watercolour and gouache. I think this is a mixture of original paintings and also some of my fine art prints that didn't print properly, so they're like seconds, so I cut them out, and I think some of these are actual paintings. So it's hard to tell. I have to say, with the fine art prints, they are so good, the quality is so good, it's sometimes hard to tell the difference, but I can see that these are definitely originals. So I continued it through April, got to this point and stopped. I don't know why I stopped. I even put the dates in for the 28th and the 29th, but only did up to here. And I think these are just prints cut up. So there we go, experimenting with a bit of collage, experimenting with the Derwent drawing pencils, and then didn't do any more. So I've got, I don't know, nearly a whole year really. I think I might take this up again. I might try to do this and just continue on. It doesn't really matter. This is the thing. It's like years ago I would have thought this was a failure because I didn't keep it up when I said I would, but it doesn't matter. I can take it up whenever I like. If it takes, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years to fill in, when you're doing something like this, it doesn't really matter. So you could do it across many years. But it's an interesting idea, it's an interesting concept to be able to just do a little quick sketch each day. I like the concept, but for me, for some reason, that didn't work. I think I struggle with consistency in things. Life gets in the way. I live with a chronic illness and that gets in the way. I have a heavy workload a lot of the time. So yeah, I obviously just didn't have the time and anyway. So I have 2 Pith sketchbooks here. I really like Pith sketchbooks. I like the paper. It can take a variety of media, and I like the fact that they lay flat. They're by a British company, and I have a few of them actually in different sizes. Okay, so this is a perfect example of a failed sketch. So this was when I was car sketching in Reigate Heath in Surrey. Or at Reigate Heath. It says, this is unfinished as I was struggling with the water brushes and it was a bit frustrating. I've decided that I prefer using them for smaller paintings. It was lovely to have some quiet time in the car on a sunny spring day though, watching people come and go with their dogs. And I just put the sketchbook is started because I thought, well, at least I've started a new sketchbook. I've got over the fear of the blank page, even though the first page was a bit of a disaster. Anyway, I went on to do this Patreon Zoom session, which I really quite like. This was in May last year, yeah, 17th of May. And we do timed drawings, so I've got the timings beside them, so that was 10 minutes. Hard to believe that was 10 minutes. I think I've sped up a little bit since then. That was 15 minutes. Anyway, this was all on interiors, and yeah, that was quite a fun session. This was something I did based on an Alfred Wallace painting. Alfred Wallace is a British artist. He's like a naive folk kind of artist, not formally trained. And when he retired, he took up painting. I love his naive style, and so I thought it would be fun for Patreon for a quick video just to kind of try to replicate his style. So that's what I did there. So this was a Zoom session that my friend Crixis hosted on her Patreon, Plant Pots with a Twist. And we have a few cats here as well. I love this grumpy cat. And that was a fun session. It's quite challenging actually to draw those. I don't normally draw cats. This was one of my Zoom sessions, I believe. We did lots of different paintings, but I've kind of combined them so that they create one, just one painting, if you see what I mean. Yeah, timed drawings again. I haven't put a date there, which really annoys me. I should have done. But yeah, I like the colours in that one. But yeah, if you look at my website, you'll see how different my finished work is to my sketchbook work. Now, this was a Patreon video, sketchbook exercises from June of last year. And we did like different little challenges. So continuous line, 3 minutes. How did it take me 3 minutes to do that? One colour, concentrating on tone, a 1 minute sketch, 2 minute sketch, non-dominant hand, 5 minutes, pattern exploration, 3 random colours. Yeah, it was an interesting exercise, but yeah, not a great page. Okay, this is just swatches. Another Patreon Zoom session from July last year. At the Coast was the theme. I tried working in little vignettes, little panels, I guess you could call those as well. I was working, I think, with coloured pencil over the top of, I think that's like the Faber-Castell Pith artist brush pens or something. It looks like it. I'm not particularly fond of those. I feel like they're not very good at all. Oh, this is just planning things. Okay, that's probably for another video. And is that all I've done? I think that's all I've done. You see, I have so many sketchbooks that I haven't finished. And a lot of that is because I'm thinking, oh, what I've done is not very good. And I've still got this problem with continuing in the sketchbook if I feel what I've done is really bad. And I think there were a couple of things in there that I thought were really bad. Okay, so this is playing around with watercolours. This is just, these are the 2 palettes actually that I did for Deep Deep Light, Mellow Days and Cozy Nights and Whatever the Weather, the colours from those. There are details about these palettes in the description beneath the video, by the way. Tests for Deep Deep Light Muted palette. Okay. Oh yeah, I was using this sketchbook initially just for swatches, but then I started using it for, this is a Patreon session. I haven't dated it or written anything. I think because I didn't like it. I like the idea of working in panels like this, and I think it can look really effective, but I haven't nailed it. I look at this and I see very amateurish work, which I shouldn't be judging myself like this because it's a sketchbook. Oh, I don't know. I think it's okay to judge yourself. I know that people say you shouldn't, and it's a sketchbook. It's difficult. I struggle with this because I want to show you only good work. So I'm fighting against that urge to show you only good work. I promised you I would share things that I really don't like. This is something I really don't like. I didn't even finish that one in the time. I mean, these are all timed. And you have to bear in mind that I'm hosting a Zoom session, chatting to people, letting people into the session if they've come in late, sharing the images. So obviously all the technical side of it, and Zoom is notoriously tricky to operate. Well, I think it is. Anyway, don't like that. This, I picked this up more recently, this sketchbook. You will have seen this if you've seen one of my recent videos. So this was a session that we did on the 18th of this month. So only a couple of weeks ago almost. And these are the deer in our garden. And yeah, so that was a lovely session with my Patreon members. Dominic, my partner, also attended this session and he drew along with us. We worked from his photos, and I think that's all I have in this sketchbook. Yeah. So we have 2 more Pith sketchbooks. These are the tiny ones, and these are slightly older, I believe, probably from a couple of years, 3 years ago, actually, this one. Okay, let's have a quick look. This was when I feel I was quite new to using sketchbooks, and yeah, I feel like I'm getting more confident in my sketchbook work. This is nice to know. Okay, Right, I don't know when I did this because I haven't dated it, but I obviously just wanted to do a loose-ish landscape to get the sketchbook started. Then I did this little mushroom piece in March of 2023. I think that this might be part of a YouTube video. I have a feeling. Here I was just experimenting, working more loosely with watercolour. I don't tend to work loosely all that much, and I remember at this point in my life I was trying to loosen up quite a bit. Okay, that's a little image from Map Crunch. Map Crunch is a great website if you want to draw from like landscapes and urban scenes. It gives you random street views from around the world. So I obviously didn't like what I did on the rest of this page because I can see little faint marks where I've actually drawn something, but I've obviously gone over it in acrylic gouache to block it out because I didn't like it. This is Houses in Greenland from Map Crunch. Then we have some swatches. Then we have a disastrous sketch that isn't finished of a tree. I believe this was when I went to Helmingham Hall in Suffolk with my mum, and I was really self-conscious about sketching in public. I am actually getting a bit better now. I've done several sketches in public that I like, but I literally couldn't concentrate when I was doing that one. Oh, Map Crunch again, another image from Map Crunch, just with coloured pencils by the look of it. I actually really like that. Yeah, I like how I've done the sky as well. I like the marks. Nice. This was a session with Crixis on her Patreon where we did, I don't know whether we were doing just foxes, I can't remember. I think I worked across several sketchbooks during that session actually. But yeah, my little fox, I quite like him. It says it took me 15 minutes. And this grumpy cat in a suitcase is so funny. I remember sharing this on YouTube before this one. What an expression. Okay, did I stop there? I think I did. Yep. Another unfinished sketchbook. The thing is, I can always go back and work on these again. So, or work in these again. Oh, I like this one. This is on Crixis's Patreon, 23rd of March 2024. I think that was with a gouache palette that I put together. Really like the colours of that one. That's nice. And there's a tree that I painted when I was in Suffolk on one of my visits to see my mum. This is saying Overleaf, Map Crunch, 14th of April 2024. So that's an example of me taking a little bit more time and not doing like a timed drawing, but just taking my time with working on an image from Map Crunch. I think that was like an English country lane. It looked very Cotswoldy, I think. I can remember these lovely buildings and the way the lane kind of twisted round and winding. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, that was practicing with, I think, Derwent drawing pencils. Gosh, I remember this one. This was a bird from a disastrous Zoom session, it says here, with the Cozy Creative Club. We used to be called the Cozy Creative Club. It's now just called Art Club. But yeah, I remember my Zoom just kept crashing and it was terrible. I've never had that happen again. I think it's been pretty consistently okay, but there's something wrong. I don't know whether it's the internet or yeah, my computer was acting weird that day. Anyway, it was all right in the end. This, oh, my stomach's rumbling. Sorry if you heard that. This is a chaffinch from my friend Crixis on her Patreon, one of her Zoom sessions in June 2024. That's the same session, Flock of Birds. I quite like those actually. It's quite nice. kind of simple, and I think that's Inktense pencil in the colour Bark. It's my favourite colour. And I've used it obviously to do a wash, and then I've drawn in the details. What is this? I think I tried to do a cat, and it went terribly wrong. I did its face, didn't like it, so tried to paint over it and then gave up. There you go, that's a real life sketchbook for you. Oh yeah, this was in the grounds of Hatchlands Park, I think it's called, a National Trust property. I was trying to draw very quickly. I was very conscious again of people passing by, and I think the weather was not great. I think it was threatening to rain on us or something. Anyway, I did a very wonky Hatchlands Park, and that's it. Again, I stopped using that part way through. So, yes, I need to perhaps go back and use these. I find it difficult though, because I feel like I've moved on since then. Maybe I just keep them as they are. I don't know, is it a waste of paper? What do you think? If I didn't use them, would it be a waste of paper? I don't know. That's a discussion that we can have in the comments. Okay, so this is an Etcher. I think this is called their Perfect Sketchbook. And I have a problem with their Perfect Sketchbooks in that they are a lot of money, but they're far from perfect. This one has, I don't know whether you'll be able to see this if I try to show you, but it has glue kind of around the edge here. And also, do you see here? It's all, I didn't do this, it was like this. It's like sticky with glue, and then it's sort of pulled off some of the blue coating. It's like, it's such a shame because the concept of this is lovely. It's got like this little folder in the back. The paper is absolutely gorgeous. This is lovely paper. But I think for the money, they're just not worth it. I'm sorry to say that, but I have, yeah, I've had a problem with some of their more expensive sketchbooks in that the quality just doesn't seem to be up to what you would expect for the price. But I do love their, what they used to call their everyday watercolour sketchbook. I think it's just called a cold press watercolour sketchbook now. I'll show you that in a moment. That's nowhere near as expensive, and the quality is always better, which seems weird to me, but there you go. So this one I practiced, I don't know, I thought I'd just swatch my gouache collection just to see what I had and to get the sketchbook started. I think that's what I did there. That's why I did that there, rather. Oh, this was filmed for a YouTube video. Oh, I know why this happened. This is because I was testing out Emma Block's range of gouache brushes for Pro Arte. And so I thought I would do designs from Monk's house. They have a lot of painted furniture. This is a National Trust property. It was Virginia Woolf's country house. And Dominic and I have been there a couple of times. I was super inspired by all of the patterns that you find on like the furniture and so on. So that's what I did. And this was, I think, testing my favourite deep light watercolours at that time. So last year this would have been my like top 10 favourites or something. And this was just, I think painting was some of those favourites, yeah. I think this might have been for Patreon, this page. Ah, I don't know whether I've ever shared this. I'm not sure I have. Maybe on Patreon I did. I sat in my mum's garden in August of last year. I'll read to you actually what it says. It says, late summer in my mum's Suffolk garden. I'm sure you can read it anyway, but I'll read it to you. A hot and very humid afternoon, sitting under the parasol with my new gouache palette. This session was cut short by an unexpected rain shower. Oh yes, I remember I had to run in. Issy came to see me a couple of times. Issy is our cat. She loves being in the garden. So yeah, that's sitting in my mum's garden, and I really tried to capture how some of the plants look, the different shapes of the flowers and the leaves and everything. Really like that. That's like a lovely memory of last summer. Okay, this is a Patreon session that I did with my patrons. I haven't dated it again. I think I really quite liked these four and then was really disappointed with this one. I like the simplicity of these. I think it was something like Cute Cottages of England or something was the title. But yeah, that was the last one I did, I think, and I was rushed and I didn't concentrate and it looks terrible. Oh, and this is another session. See, I'm showing you the things I really hate. I really hate this page. This was all about the moon, I think. I can't remember the exact title of the session, but this is one that I held with my Patreon members, and I just, yeah, I wasn't feeling it, I think, from the moment I started, really. I don't like how stiff this tree looks. I didn't finish that one. These look really messy. Yeah, don't like that. Okay, yeah, this is just practice for things. I think lettering for a zine, which I didn't use. This actually did make it into my zine, I believe, this one. I really like this page. It seems, you know, fairly loose and has some, I don't know, sort of like a lightness and a movement to it, which I like. But I think other than that, I've just used this book for swatching. Yeah, and some stuff for my zine. Okay, now seems a good time to bring in the Etcher sketchbook I do like. So this is the one with like the fabric cover. And even though these are less expensive, the quality is better. So that doesn't really make sense to me, but I do really like these ones, and I like the square format as well. So I started this one by, I think this was in a YouTube video, just swatching out the Deep Light Velvet set, plus an extra colour they'd given me called Iris, which I love. And this was a little monochromatic sketch. I think this might have been in the YouTube video too. I meant to write something here, but I never did. I might do that just to fill in that blank space. Oh, this is Jackman's Watercolours. This is when I was testing them for the first time back in November of last year. Absolutely gorgeous watercolours. I have a discount code down below because I am actually an ambassador for Jackman's now. So if you want to try them out, they're not super expensive, but they're fantastic quality and you get 10% off. So check that out in the description if you're interested, but the colours are stunning. Okay, this is something I really don't like. This is a Patreon video, not a Patreon Zoom session, but I was challenging myself to paint birds in 5 minutes. So each one of these is 5 minutes. I would not tackle this in the way I did. I'm much better, like the deer you saw earlier. That's much more how I would tackle these if I were to do this again. So these are too heavy. I was feeling under pressure. I think I was thinking, how am I going to do birds in 5 minutes? And I just panicked and I went in too much of a heavy-handed way. I actually quite like this one. I like the shape of the blackbird, but this one's good because of the texture. But yeah, I'm not very impressed with that page. Okay, I think I've shared these fairly recently, so I'm going to whiz through these ones. This was a Patreon Zoom session called Objects in My Studio from December. That's mixed media, I think gouache, watercolour, probably used an Inktense pencil. Okay, that was testing watercolours, I think, for my 20 favourite watercolours. That's a YouTube video if you want to check that one out. And then we have the Signs of Spring Patreon Zoom session from March this year. And there are elements of this that I like. I like the overall spread, But there are certain things I don't like, there are certain things I like. That is the nature of doing quick time drawings and sketches. This was a page I hated, so I have painted over it with the view to one day drawing over it, probably using coloured pencils and just using that as a background. Oh, this was the Jackman gouache, really nice gouache that I think I painted this on, yeah, I painted this on a YouTube video as well recently. And then we have Spring Trees Zoom session on Quick Scissors Patreon, and I think again that is it. Yeah, that's where I'm up to with that, but I am currently using this sketchbook. I literally can't remember what this sketchbook's called. I did know at the time. I can't remember. If I remember, I will write it on the screen. But I started it on the 1st of April 2024, so a couple of years ago. And that was in my mum's garden. I remember sitting there and painting. This little tree, sadly, is no longer with us. It got attacked by honey fungus and has had to be taken down. But yeah, it doesn't really look that much like my mum's garden. I was just practicing and using it as inspiration, really. There's my mum's garden again on the 5th of April. Again, it doesn't really look that much like my mum's garden. I think I was just wanting to practice painting in gardens. This is a sketchbook video for Patreon, it says here. Okay, deep light watercolours. Testing those. Don't know what I was trying to do there. I remember that as part of a video, but I can't really think what I was trying to do. Swatches. More swatches, but in a botanical style. Birds. I think this was just practicing how quickly I could do birds or something, and do them loosely. This one is so funny. He really has an attitude, that one. In fact, they're all quite funny, aren't they? Birds and Forests Patreon collaboration with Crixus in May of 2024. It says, owl not finished, ran out of time. Yeah, that was one of my first Zoom sessions that I did. I used to do them with Crixus at the beginning for a bit of support. We still do sessions together. This was a Crixus Patreon session. Cute fat blackbird, cheeky nuthatch. I really like those, actually. They're two separate paintings, but it looks like it's the same tree. It's not supposed to be the same tree. It's just how it turned out. Patreon session, working in panels. I think that was kind of gradually zooming in or something. Cats on Crixus's Patreon, something I don't normally paint. I smudged that one as well, look. I think this was with dough and Inktense in the colour bark again, which you can use wet and dry, so you can use it it's like a wash and then go in with the dry pencil. And Black and White Landscapes on Crixus's Patreon in July of 2024. That took me 10 minutes, apparently. And is that it? Again, we've stopped part of the way through. Okay. I've noticed that I used to put stickers on my sketchbooks a lot, and I don't so much anymore. I don't know why that is, but these are two identical sketchbooks of the same type as the one we just saw, but slightly larger. I don't know what's going to be in these. This is interesting because I can't remember. Okay, let's have a look at this one first. Right. I was practicing with Derwent drawing pencils, just doing loads of trees randomly. I'd forgotten about this one. This was done with either acrylic gouache or flash paints. I can't remember which. I actually really like them. I want to get back into using my acrylic gouache. That's quite cool, isn't it? I quite like that. I can see something weird happening with the tree here. It's gone behind that one. I should actually go in front of that one, but I shouldn't have pointed that out, should I? Swatches. This was a video I did for YouTube, and I believe it's the most viewed video on my channel. It's funny to think of that, actually, to think that the creation of this page is actually on that video. And for some reason, I don't know why, it became the most viewed on my channel. Yeah, I think I talked about using sketchbooks in that video. I think it was called No Longer Scared or something. And because I always used to be scared to work in sketchbooks. Anyway, more swatching. And September 2023, sort of a mixed media drawing. Sorry about the noise. I think that's Dominic closing a door downstairs. This was a house inspired by a photo taken by my mum in Suffolk, and I've put several dates on this because I think I kept going back in and reworking it. Monochromatic watercolour sketch in September of 2023. Oh gosh, this was a Patreon Zoom session called Slightly... No, this wasn't called Slightly... I tell a lie, this wasn't. This was a sketchbook time video. We have since done some spooky Zoom sessions in October, but no, this was actually the year before they started. So I was just trying to do time drawings for a video, and yeah, it's pretty bad, Natasha's Grey. This is a colour Deep Light developed for me, and I was just like trying it out and doing pencil over the top and just having fun with it. Quite like that little bird, actually. This is nice. This looks like a graphic novel or something, doesn't it? I think it's like a different style. This is Morten Hilmer's live stream. So this is like a nature camera in Denmark. This is February 2024. I did this for Patreon Sketchbook Time. All of these videos, by the way, are on my Patreon. I have over 100 videos. I think it's more like probably 120 now, actually, that if you join, you get access to immediately. So we have a huge library of content on there now. So that will be one of them. This is, I'm just trying to, I hope this is focusing okay. I'm a bit worried. Let's take that away for a second. Is that better to lay that flat? There we go. Yeah, this was Patreon Sketchbook Time, December 2023. Oh, I think I'd been really ill that December. And yeah, and I needed to film the video, and I remember still not feeling great. But I quite liked how this turned out. They look a bit stiff, but I quite like it. So all of these are sort of drawn under pressure, as it were. Oh yeah, I seem to remember I was doing some drawings with a black ink pen. Didn't like it all that much, so I tried to sort of collage over the top with other bits. It's a little bit random there. I quite like that little bird. Another Patreon Sketchbook Time, January 2024, 10 minutes it says it took me to do that. Oh yeah, this was working loosely with watercolour, I remember that. Okay, then we're doing just swatches. This was, I think, was this on YouTube? I think I was practicing painting loosely or something. Another Patreon Sketchbook Time. Really quite liked this bit, but didn't like this bit. It all looks a bit stiff to me now, actually. Oh gosh, we've got quite a lot in here. I think this might be the only sketchbook I've ever finished. Okay, Cozy Creative Sessions. I think that's on YouTube. Just painting and chatting. Zoom drawing session with Crixus, Day and Night Landscapes. I think this is one that we both hosted together. The wooded area of the garden in March 2024. Mixed media drawing. Here are more foxes. Maybe that goes with the other fox that I did in that other sketchbook. That's Inktense pencil again. So using it wet and dry. I actually quite like those. I smudged the tail again. Why do I keep smudging the tails? And then there's just swatches. Oh, what's this? I sort of vaguely remember this. This might have been from a Zoom session. Is that it? Oh, I actually do have some blank pages, and some swatches. Okay, let's have a look at the other one that is like this. I've honestly completely forgotten what's in these sketchbooks. All right, okay. Yes, I did that during a Zoom meetup with my Patreon members in June of 2024. It's based on C.F. Tunnicliffe's illustration on page 47 of What to Look For in Winter, which is a little vintage Ladybird book that was published in the 1950s. So I was just seeing if I could copy that style. A Zoom session in June 2024 with my Patreon members. I actually made a finished painting from that one, I seem to remember. Oh, this was a stock dove, painted with this little limited palette that I have in the Peg and All Petra Painters palette. Okay, this is when I try to do a more finished drawing of Hatchlands Park. You remember that one we saw in the other sketchbook where I sat in the gardens there, and I learnt that I don't enjoy drawing with just graphite pencil apparently, and I spent far too much time on the tree and or not enough time on the house. The styles don't match up. Graphite pencil is so messy, I've written. Yeah, it's quite smudgy, this page. Yeah, I gave up on that because I didn't enjoy it. But then I did this painting of it, and I did enjoy it. I obviously needed to use colour and just enjoy working quite loosely, but not super loosely. I really quite like this. I remember feeling that was a bit of a turning point, this painting. I felt like I was getting to where I wanted to be with being able to paint houses and architecture and keeping it quite loose, not being overly fussy with it. Okay, these are just little swatches. This is this is from Crixus's Patreon. We've seen these before. Do you remember this chap here? Look at him with his teeth. The cat is cute. Landscapes in black and white as well. Oh, that's from a session that we saw. We saw one of these in another sketchbook. I often actually during the sessions, because obviously your work, if you're working in watercolour, it takes a while to dry. So if it's wet and I finish, like for example, I'd filled these pages, I couldn't turn it while it was still wet and work on the next page, so I'd get another sketchbook. That's why they're in different sketchbooks. Oh, this was Tiny Treasures, a little Tiny Treasures Zoom with our Patreon members. Yeah, it's interesting to look back on that. Oh, another wonky house. I've written so much fun. Yeah, I got into doing wonky houses back in the summer of 2024. Okay, swatches. Unfinished landscape. You really are seeing everything here. Toadstools and mushrooms. That was a Zoom session as well. Very, very loose. All Things Cozy Zoom session in November of 24. Quite like aspects of those. Mixed media, gouache, watercolour with like coloured pencil and Inktense pencil over the top. And I think, yep, we have lots of pages we haven't filled in. I can't remember what this sketchbook is, but it's got a nice cloth cover, nice square format. I think this was something I was doing on Patreon, like an art challenge or something. So we have raindrops there, little house there. Trying to remember what this challenge was. Anyway, we'll just flick through quickly and have a look. These sort of feel like, some of them feel a bit more finished, don't they? A bit more polished than some of my sketchbook work. Didn't finish that one though. And then I did some little birds, quite loose. Quite like those actually, but that's it. There's not that much in that sketchbook. It's nice, feels like watercolour paper, and it's obviously handled the watercolour quite well. But yeah, there's still quite a few pages I could use in that sketchbook. Okay, we're on to the last two. So this is my sketchbook for video and Zoom sessions from July 2024 to April 2025. This is going to be such a long video. I'm going to just whiz through these. Cozy Creative Club Zoom, unfinished. I didn't know where I was going with that one. I remember liking it when I started, and then I was like, no, it's just not working. This is a Crixus Landscapes and Clouds Zoom. I watched the replay video. I didn't take part in that one live, but I did time myself. I quite like these actually. Yeah, I like practicing clouds. I think those ones are good. Toadstools and mushrooms again. Heading into autumn, I used just coloured pencil for this one. Not as successful. I actually enjoy using coloured pencil more when it's over the top of watercolour or gouache, rather than just on its own. I think that suits my style better. Oh, this is nice. I like this one. Patreon sketchbook session from September of 2024. Lovely countryside scenes. Here's one of our slightly spooky sessions. Oh gosh, this is so funny. I thought this was going to be right up my street, but when I started doing it, I found I really struggled with the house. I struggled with the graveyard. There was a man dressed up as a ghost. He had funny, his little legs were poking out. Yeah, not one of my best pages, and neither is this. I remember giving up on this one. This was a Crixus Zoom session. I just, you know, sometimes when you're just not feeling it, things aren't going right. That was what happened there. This is a cozy creative session on YouTube, which I did. I painted and chatted. Just a really relaxed sketchbook session, so you can find that on my YouTube channel. This is All Things Cozy again. So this is in November of 24. Oh yeah, this is part of the same session that's in another sketchbook. I think, what was I doing here? Practicing layering and things, I think, for a video probably. That's terrible. But yeah, we'll just gloss over that one. Oh yeah, matte crunching Patreon session from February of 2025. That was quite fun. I've put 10, 10, 15. I think that's the number of minutes that I had for each image or something. But yeah, that was quite fun, that one. I quite enjoyed that one. washing hanging on the line. Oh yeah, this is a Crixus Zoom session, sketching hobbies. That's March of last year, and I only did a few. I think I might have been late to this session or something. I quite like these illustrations. So here I'm thinking that I did like pen, like an artist pit, what is it called? A Faber-Castell Pith artist brush pen, and then did coloured pencil over the top. Sorry, my brain is just terrible. It's I think I've spoken for too long and now it's malfunctioning. Yeah, so this is like when I work with watercolour and then go over the top with pencil. I feel it's more successful than when I just use pencil on its own. Yeah, that was the start of something that was a disaster. I think he might come up later, a more finished version. Lighthouses with Crixus, I quite like these actually. That was fun. Oh yeah, there he is. It was drawing from vintage bird illustrations. That was a Patreon video. Patreon time-lapse video. Just with like watercolour and gouache. Something that I started and didn't finish. Signs of Spring from last year. So we've done this twice now. There are certain seasonal Zoom sessions that I like to repeat if we really enjoyed them the first time around. The spooky one is one of them in October. Signs of Spring is a good one in like March or April. That's interesting to see that. That little blackbird has a worm in his mouth. I love this little bunny. And this was a Spring Flowers Patreon Zoom. I've put dodgy by the crocuses, but I actually think they're not that dodgy now I look at them. Yeah, I quite like this page actually. And oh, yeah, that was a challenging session. I should never do birds in a heavy-handed way. I've figured it out now, but yeah, they look quite, I don't know, demonic or something. Look at their eyes. A little bit scary. That's it. Okay, this is a tiny Etcher watercolour sketchbook of the variety that I like. And I haven't really done that much in this one. And this was when I wasn't that used to using sketchbooks. So I'm trying to remember whether I did that on a video. I might have done. Additional palette in, oh, this is in 2022, so we're going back a bit here. Lovely colour. I think that might be, I have a feeling that's Harbour Blue by A Gallo. I really like how I've done this actually. I should do more of this kind of stuff. Little nightscape. That's just way too, I just find that way too fussy. I've overdone it. I don't know what I've done here with the coloured pencil. This little bird is cute. I like him. It's quite simple. Oh yeah, I did a little sand cat. This was in acrylic gouache, which I don't use that often in my sketchbooks, but I probably should. I quite like this actually. I think that's relatively successful. It's quite sweet, isn't it? And this is relatively unsuccessful. This is a J from a Crixus Patreon session. Yeah, he was singing and he looks weird. I didn't like it. I think at that point I gave up on this sketchbook because there were a couple of things in here that I didn't like, which is a shame. I mean, I could just go over these pages that I don't like. Maybe I'll do that and continue using the sketchbook. Because it seems a shame to waste this paper because it's good paper. But there we go. There you go. We ended on one that wasn't very good. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I just want to say that sketchbook work, you're going to do things that you hate. You're going to do some things that you love. Some things will surprise you. I had somebody the other month who left a really horrible comment on one of my sketchbook videos, and they said something along the lines of, all of this belongs in the trash. And I'd like to say to that person, A, you really don't understand what sketchbooks are for, love. And B, I hope it made you feel better to just get that out of your system, you know, to randomly say something like that to a stranger on the internet. I hope it made you feel better because it must be pretty awful being someone who feels that they want to leave a comment like that on someone's video. But yeah, I think they don't understand what sketchbooks are about. I struggle with my sketchbook work, and I struggle with it because I feel like there's so much I don't like, and when I don't like it, it kind of knocks my confidence. But also I can't get over this feeling of like I've ruined a sketchbook. I think this is why you see that I have so many where I've just stopped using them, and then I move on to another one, hoping that next time all the stuff in it is going to be good. And of course, all the stuff in it isn't going to be good. You're going to get some good things and you're going to get some bad things. And that is life and sketchbooks. Okay, everyone, I'm going to go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hype it. Please comment down below. I don't know how you feel about sketchbooks, what you thought of this sketchbook tour. Try to be respectful. Try to be nice. Just because it's actually really awful to have to read comments that are nasty. I don't mind if you disagree with me, but just try to be polite about it. I don't need to tell most of you that. Most of you are absolutely lovely, and thank you for being here. Thank you to my Patreon members, and thank you to my YouTube channel members for being there, for their extra support, for being part of the community. And thank you to everyone who has watched this.